When men are hurt, the damage often hides in plain sight. Not because it's small, but because the culture does not give men many places to put it. If you're a man recovering from an abusive or addiction-affected relationship, you were likely injured on multiple levels at the same time. You were hurt by the relationship, you were judged for being hurt, and you were often left alone to make sense of both. Recovery starts by naming that reality without defensiveness or denial. Men are socialized to measure worth through control, competence, and emotional containment. When abuse or addiction enters a relationship, those reference points collapse. Control disappears, logic stops working, and emotional containment becomes absolutely impossible. Instead of support, many men receive suspicion. They get asked why they stayed, why they didn't leave sooner, why they allowed it, why they didn't fight back, why they didn't see it coming. Those questions don't help recovery, they just reinforce the shame. Research on male survivors shows that men experience similar trauma symptoms as women after abuse. Hypervigilance, emotional numbing, sleep disruption, intrusive memories, identity confusion. The difference isn't the impact, the difference is permission and expression. Men are less likely to disclose abuse, and when they do, they're more likely to be minimized or reframed as mutually responsible. Studies show that male survivors often delay seeking help for years, sometimes decades, due to fear of ridicule or disbelief. And this delay changes their recovery. Unprocessed trauma doesn't stay still. It leaks into anger, withdrawal, risk-taking, emotional shutdown, or compulsive caretaking. Many men don't recognize these patterns as trauma responses because no one taught them that trauma can look like this. What happened to you was not a failure of masculinity. It was a nervous system injury inside a relational system that was unsafe. Abuse disrupts attachment, and addiction destabilizes regulation. Together, they teach the body that connection equals threat. And for men, this often shows up as chronic tension, emotional guardedness, or a swing between overfunctioning and collapse. Healing requires learning safety without surrendering dignity. One of the first tasks in recovery is separating accountability from blame. Yes, most perpetrators of abuse are men. The research is clear on that. Naming this doesn't erase male victimization, it just contextualizes it. You can hold the reality of gendered violence while also acknowledging that men can be harmed, controlled, and destabilized by partners who use power coercively or substances destructively. Recovery doesn't require competing narratives, it requires accurate ones. Men often ask where to start, and the answer to that is regulation. Trauma lives in your body. Recovery begins by stabilizing sleep, reducing hyperarousal, and restoring predictability. Simple routines really do matter. Having consistent meals, moving your body, not just as self-improvement, but repairing your nervous system. And then emotional literacy comes next. Many men might not have been taught to name internal states beyond anger or stress. Abuse collapses emotional range even further. Learning to identify fear, grief, shame, relief, and longing isn't indulgent, it's actual structural repair. Men in recovery often struggle with self-trust. Abuse erodes confidence and perception. And gaslighting teaches you to doubt your reality. Addiction teaches you to question your expectations, and over time, you stop trusting your judgment. Rebuilding self-trust happens through small, repeated experiences of listening to yourself and seeing that nothing terrible happens. You set a boundary, you leave a conversation, you say no, and the world doesn't end. Now, connection is probably the hardest part. Many men isolate after abuse. Some because they fear judgment, some because they fear actually becoming dangerous themselves, and some because they no longer know how to be close without losing themselves. Healthy connection isn't intensity, it's consistency. Recovery involves learning to tolerate calm relationships without chasing crisis, and this can feel unsettling at first. Your nervous system may interpret stability as emptiness, and that doesn't mean something is missing. It means your body is, again, recalibrating. Professional support matters. Men benefit from trauma-informed therapy that understands attachment, coercive control, and addiction dynamics, and not all therapy does. If you were told to focus only on communication skills or anger management without addressing trauma, something essential was missed. Peer support also matters. Not spaces that encourage grievance or blame, but spaces that allow honesty without performance. Men heal faster when they're believed without being put on trial. And recovery is not about reclaiming dominance. It's about reclaiming agency. Agency means you can feel without being overwhelmed. You can connect without disappearing. You can assert without controlling, and you can leave without collapsing. Being hurt did not make you weak, and surviving didn't make you broken. The work now is integration, bringing all the parts of you that learn to endure back into a life that no longer requires endurance. This isn't quick work. It's real work, and it's very possible. Next, we're going to widen the lens again and look at how these same dynamics shape recovery across genders, where experiences mirror each other and where they diverge, and how the system responds differently depending on who is hurt. Because healing doesn't happen in isolation, it happens when the story finally makes sense.